Island. And here at Warragul, they will host Cora, Lynn, and immediately it's Cora, Lynn with the first clearance. Plays a major factor in today's game. You see just heads out to the right.
You'd expect the turnover game to be pretty prominent today considering the win.
Hands up in the air again, McGillivray. His second contested mark. Take the free kick anyway. Full back. The arms of his teammate. Sweeps onto the left foot. Sander on the wing. Short. Sensible football. Here is Mockett at half forward. Received it from Gibson, and now he turns around onto the right. Has the lead of his teammate up forward. It fell short. Now clearing out of the back line. Some length on the clearing kick, and the centre half back is the Cobra still excellent.
So Spearing took a mark. Centre half back. Then finds another suitor in Hill. Just playing a bit of slow footy to start off the Cobras, so were the Dusties. Now off at right half back. Probably go down the line here, or maybe they decide to run a switch instead. Cut through the middle, that's a mark taken by Ryan, who then goes out to the wing, finds a teammate in Bachaya, who's been certainly handy for this Cobra side this year. Go further towards the boundary line. Almost a grab taken by Ryan. And will have a stoppage. Goes over the boundary line. Both sides just filling each other out at the moment. No real swings of momentum. Boundary throw-in. Didn't get the ruckman. Warragul able to clear it out. He'll go over the boundary line once again.
Spread between these two sides early. A couple of inside 50s, a couple of intercept marks through McGillivray, and two already at centre half back. A couple minutes into the first quarter, we're still at a deadlock at 0. It's Coralyn's turn with a scrambled ball forward. In the hole for the Dusties is another backman. This time it's forward Kane Taylor who goes short. It was dangerous. Brewster attempted to have his say. Mark is paid, and numbers will move forward. The deepest target is Nathan Gardner, of course. He fakes one way, heads the other. Still hesitant on the mark and selling some candy to Brewster, running off his lead, and now it's in the direction of Gardner, who's sitting underneath it, and he'll take the mark. There's a whistle for a downfield free. Gardner will take advantage.
The ball moved by Coralyn early on. Found a nice mark there in Nathan Gardner.
13 goals last week, hoping to get on the board early for the Cobras, and he does exactly that. And Coralyn hit first. A couple minutes into this opening quarter, it's one straight 6, and the Dusties yet to score. Totally workwear.
Of course, we don't know how Dermot Yorney from Nana is doing just as of yet, but that goal, assuming that Yorney is still on 73 goals, that puts Gardner within 1. He's on 72 now, and Yorney, we assume, is still on 73. But it's really unlikely if Yorney to not score a goal today, so it's going to have to be a tough day at the office for Nathan Gardner as he fights his place on the goalkeeper leaderboard. Centre bounce, Warragul got the first major of the game. No one was really able to win the hit out at the end. Ends up with William Thomas, was able to get it out the clear off the McGillivray, being good early on. Was rummaging through the middle here, Coralyn. It looks like just about the cleaner side at the moment, but still just chaos footy here, trying to tap it along, McGillivray again. Now pushing out to the wing, nice little stab kick out in the wing. And the mark taken by Beveridge. So he'll look to go down the line again. No mark taken. Collected, however, by a teammate in Todd Beck. Then he gives it off to Mockett. Then Mockett enters inside 50, wide open, and Dusty's hit now. Mason McGarity. And Cora Lynn's setup behind the ball was just really poor there. How McGarity had that much space between him and a defender is beyond me.
Wasn't there the last time he did play these sides. He seems to be attacking quite high scoring. Having that brand early on.
Well, yeah, that's what I said early on. Cora Lynn, really entertaining. Brand's really fast with how they move their ball.
One goal apiece. Over 5 minutes into the first quarter. Flying right on the ruck. Unable to tap it down. Beveridge is also loitering. Here he is collecting the footy, then dumped into the curve by Machaya. Ball up. Just back to the centre. Broadcast side. In the ruck. Braden Hefford emerging out of the pack is Debenham. Turned over and then brought down to the tackle is Russell. That stays alive for the Dusties. Gibson. Back forward. And pass to Beveridge. And now Walker making his way through the centre of the ground. His kick slightly miscued, but his teammate will receive the free kick. Pushing the back with Bailey Beck. Turn now to go forward for the Dusties. A lot of shifting, a lot of movement. Garrity always prominent. Different direction to him. Holds out. Dusties, plenty of outlets. Sharing it out wide. Right half back, they can settle down for a moment.
Cobras is trying to compose themselves. Dusties have probably been the better team in the last couple of minutes. Out here, the opposite side, the broadcast at the moment. Short little kick. One teammate near the boundary line, he plays on. Now looking for a bit more of a centre. Machaya was there, but it was spoiled. Great defensive work from the Dusties. Just had to let it go on the boot. There's a mark taken. They're going to pay it the umpires. Cora Lynn looking to move quickly. Here's Moncton, 150th game today for the big fella. That's an accurate looking kick. Dropped mark, however. Now it's 2v1. Didn't say holding the man, so we'll go on the way of Cora Lynn. Fair enough, umpire. Going against Debenham. Now entering inside 50. Low kick. And right in just of the Dusty. Taking the mark. On that occasion was Kane Taylor. Now out towards the wing again. Both sides are struggling to take a bit of a mark at the moment. Beveridge by hand, that's a good handball. Beck now finds McGarity. Just sprays it there, that was an ugly looking kick. Now they can move here, the Cobras, they may be out. Just a little bit. Still plenty of opportunity for the Cobras. Cuts it towards the middle, that's a risky kick. Oh, but it paid off. Marked in the centre square, looking for Gardner. But that's some great defensive work from Kane Taylor. Take a bow. It was in prime position, was Gardner. And it was Bakari, sorry. But great defensive work on that occasion. Now, another boundary throw in. Thomas in the ruck, lost on that occasion. Kicked out, looking to hope. Darners wanted it there. 2v1 situation, so couldn't win. And now the Dusties can move through Luke Walker.
And they do. Spreads it to centre half back. Now the left half back. Hand pass will work out for Walker, who has Becker's support, and another man over the top. McGarity, who's worked his way up the field. Just one goal in each of his last 3 games. So not losing the rest of his play. Kicks with length in the Mocker direction over the his head. Centre half back row. Cobras out of the nothing kick, not very defining, but it's licked up by Kane. Shuffled out of bounds. So he's got to throw in. All square at 6, 8.5 minutes in the first quarter. Totally work where Putnam scored. Throw in at half forward. And it stays up in the air. Hefford knocks it down, and now they'll chain up the handballs. They do, and finally a kick is released into the forward line. McGarity had his save. Moncton to first. And it's his 150th game, as Bass mentioned. Out to the wing now. Juggling the mark. taking it down. Edwards kept it alive for his teammates to thrive, and they didn't. It was turned over. The Dusties, they straddled the line. Another ball up, close to the wing. 9 minutes.
Cora, Lynn, just been a bit messier than usual, if I'm being completely fair. Had a couple boundary throw-ins to start. Cora, Lynn win this contest through Thomas. The Dusty was just trying to absolutely steamroll through traffic. Debenham evaded, that was really clever. And then they turn around, kicks it on the boot, is Brewster. Mark couldn't be taken, and it's going to be taken to ground. Should be a stoppage, and it will be.
Stalemate.
Yeah.
Nathan Gardner and Mason McGarity, the big goal kickers, pair of these sides. As the ball sit out of bounds again.
So windy down here out west at Warragul today. Definitely one of the windier games we'll see. Nowhere near as bad as Dallison, however. So they're able to get out. Oldham gives it to a teammate, entering inside 50. McGarity nearly took a leaning mark. Would have been impressive. Nonetheless, the contest still goes on. Ball rolling out towards the pocket. It's going to be pushed over the line, and a free kick's going to be given. High contact in the way of Cora, Lynn. Garfield looking to get 2 wins in a row after they won their first last week, trying to fight against the wooden spoon are the Stars. Nonetheless, back here at Warragul, tackled almost immediately was the Copra. Warragul's defence has just been outstanding to start. The pressure has been amazing. Punch. Cora, Lynn able to get it back somehow with the amount of Dusties around. Then long high kick to out towards the wing. And once again, push over the boundary line. So I think we're going to see a bit of a longer quarter here deal with the amount of stoppages.
11 minutes into the first quarter. It's really well for the Pakenham scoreboard. 6 apiece. Carlin a bit of a shutdown. The Dusties hopes of making finals for 6th place at the moment. They're both in their hands. Brought down in the tackle. Take the mark. And he gave it off to Machai, who goes deep for Gardner. Couldn't take the one-hander, but the crumb opportunity taken out the back. It's Briggs, picks it up, snaps, and the Cobras have their second. Now 1-1, 7-1 straight 6 in the Dusties through the agency of Todd Beck. And now Luke Walker working to left half back. Anthony has it in his hands. Bailey out as the commentary.
Oh, what a poor kick turn of pride over Johnson, who enters inside 50. Gardner uses the body. Oh, he's called play on. He goes, snaps it. Get around him, he's tied it up. 73 apiece. Gardner, that was a bit cheeky. Umpire called play on. He said, yeah, right. Okay, I'll take on your challenge, and he kicks the right boot snap. Well done, Gardner. Not sure if why they didn't have a live goal kickers, but I'd certainly be interested to see how Dermot Goy is doing at the moment.
Task for Derek Yorney. It's an easy task for the Dusties at the moment. Tackled by Beck. Affect the hand pass. They enter forward again. Gardner attacks into the face. 14.5 minutes. Leaded by 7. Goals. Started in Beaconsfield back in 2009. Many clubs with Frankston in the VFL. You can see why. Kicks his third, and the Cobras lead by 13 early in this first quarter.
updated. Nana Goon and Envelope is 0-0 at the moment, so Gardner's actually taken the lead. Gee, 74 goals for that man. Considering on his really hot form from last week. Cora Lynn. 13 points. 15.5 minutes in. So, we'll resume hostilities. It's Ryan in the ruck for Cora Lynn. Sam looks up. Another ball up. The exact same spot as it was before. Ball goes to grounds. Warragul looks dangerous there for a sec, but Cora Lynn's pressure was there. Oh, almost tackled there. Was Bass. Just control themselves. Play on. Should be another inside 50 entry there. Could have been a mark there. Control out. Back. Debenham. Couldn't evade! Oh, he just gets it off in time. That was awfully close. The giveaway won't be 15 to Payne. Down the line. Cora Lynn have definitely been better in the past couple of minutes. And they're getting rewarded for it with goals. This time, Stiglitz won't go inside 50. McGiveaway, oh no! Almost took an absolute flyer. Geez, that would have got me up and about McGiveaway, despite Warragul's less than desirable start. Boy, has he been good early on, down back. Thomas flicks it behind him. McGiveaway, here he is again. Probably have my 3 votes at the moment during the first quarter, and that's an excellent punch there. This time, coming from Bruin. Oh, guard, of course.
It's only early. 17 minutes into this first quarter. Cobras by 13. 3 goals to Nathan Gardner. Mason McGarity for the Dusties. Smart tap down. Todd Battles. Fell short. And the hand passes to work. Bruce started half forward. Fine by this. Left half back. Around the back line, electing to switch it. It's in the hands of Will Ryan. On the other side of half back. To the wing. Head of the Dusties. It's away from time on. Around the ground. Defense is held up as the Dusties. Too powerful in the forward line. He's still sitting at the forward. He'll be ready to make a lead here. But Shire has to mark first, and he does. So that's one part of the puzzle completed. And Starry still defending guard. Shire analyses the situation ahead. It's one on McGillivray and then drops it up in the air, and the mark is taken by Ed Briggs. Goal every 2 games. It's going right to the line, and it was touched. Yeah, the perfect angle is right here. the wing. McGarity consumed plenty of pressure and taking the ground. As mentioned in the pre-game show, they were fighting for finals. Fighting for a fifth place. Already entrenched in that final spot. City was unable to reach the Beveridge Heats. It's the bouncy line again.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, finals I thought was locked in a couple of weeks ago when Warragul actually were able to beat Kiwi Rupp in that comeback win. Of course, that was a famous round 16. There was Warragul versus Kiwi Rupp by 2. There was Bunyip versus Kiwakunda by 4. Such an entertaining round of footy that was. Another boundary throw in Williker. Now on to time on. It's Cora Lynn. Lead this contest early on in the first term. Well, it's not early on, sorry, but early on in the game, I should say. Thomas. Handball was inaccurate. Beveridge tried to find a teammate into Sando. Now, McGarity was looking to be creative, but the pressure was too much. Push over the boundary line again.
Nearly 22 minutes into this first quarter. Fight it out again. Spills to Brewster, who has supporting Commandeer to half forward, just out of reach. The outstretched hands of DeSando, but he gets it again and puts it forward. Gets the Cobbies. Eyes darting in every direction. Gibson stands on the mark. They'll swarm to the wing. I think this would head, and it does that way. Numbers are even. The back, Taylor for the Dusties. Eventually bowls the ball and it's out of bounds. Cobras by 14. We're told we work with Pakenham scoreboard.
It's been a pretty even matchup, despite Colin's lead at the moment. Just had more opportunities to go down forward, have the Dusties trying to collect it, but instantly wrapped up in a tackle. And now they're out. Thomas has got Briggs open. He'll move through the middle, cuts it back, then kicks to a teammate. Ryan takes a chest mark. Now here's Machaya, who goes for a little bit of a run. Short low kick. Gardiner. Now looking for his 4th major in just a quarter of footy. Is he talented? Absolutely showing out. And the Dusties have no idea how to stop him. McGarry is really struggling to start off. The Gardiner, that one is going to miss. It's going to be a behind. So, Coralin's 3-3-21 plays Warragul's 106. Warragul have been good in getting the ball. It's been pushed by Collins, turning it over a lot. Able to move the ball down with a lot of intent towards that third down.
Here is McGill. Space. Taking the mark. It wasn't 15, so he had to manoeuvre. He did. Not a lot of room. The Beveridge releases the hand pass. Pass is holding the ball.
That was not a 15 penalty.
Twisted Fernandez Phillips. Finally, another shot.
One of the more entertaining players this man. So quick with his leg speed. Coast to coast in seconds.
Now he has a task set upon him. 45 metres out. Throwing some grass on the mark is Ablett. Has to adapt in the air. Of course. The margin stays 15 points. 5 minutes into the first quarter.
Haven't seen that. How's it here about that?
Great again. Brewster. Good bar. Pass forward. And now it's Colin's chance. Can't be too much time left, but Shire making his claim. And he's way through a couple. His teammate on a high snap that's bending towards goal. And it falls! Matthew Ryan, with some sheer brilliance, it appeared out of nowhere back.
Yeah, it just seemed to be a bit of a clearance kick. He's playing the AFL level 2, hit the triangle button, but somehow going through for a goal. Fair play. Matthew Ryan re-signed with his brother Luke in 2021 with the Cobras. And now, Cora Lynn up by a total of 21 points. So, once again, Cora Lynn just been dominating, much like the last contest in the second half at least. Thomas, legal disposal there, chucked it, but no free kick will be given as the siren sounded.
Laid the kick short and a brutal bump laid by Briggs. Dusty's can capitalise on the turnover. Back to Gibson, looping hand pass over the top and getting himself out of trouble was Debenham. Goes back in order to go forward. This time McGillivray from the standing start into the hot spot again. Smith, the number out the back catch. A slow hand pass from Thomas to Ryan. Lofts the kick up in the air, dropped by Smith. Again stays loose. Gibson fighting hard at ground level. Continues to let the ball up right on the arc of 50 points.
Minute 30 in, Warragul looked instantly better than they did that first. Pushed the ground into the reach. Back to like a Jamie Stringer type, you might say. The McGillivray was almost there. Warragul just snaps it out of the pack, trying to get any room. But here comes Cora Lynn, turns it over. Did Lucio. Sorry, a baller. Say. So now Thomas on the ruck, going against Mockett. They flick it out to the Dusties, just trying to get the footy to himself. Here's Ablett, might be tackled and he will be. Are they going to pay it? No, play on. Briggs through the middle again. Looks for Machaya, who's able to get the footy wrapped up instantly, however. Now given off by hands. Moving through the middle, Warragul. Little kick, won't hit a target. Turnover again, so Cora Lynn will move through the middle. If he marks that, just was able to hold on to it. Was the Cobra. Thomas Stitch, however you'd like to say it. Another little short kick. Enter inside 50. Gardner couldn't take that one. Had a lot of Dusty's players on it. It's going to be tackled here. This is really dangerous. They're able to persevere. But they're still in danger. Run down there. What are they going to do? The call is holding the ball. They were just trying to find any open option. Were the Dusties mowed down in the tackle. Now, from about 30 out, a somewhat difficult angle. The Cora Lynn player and Jackson Briggs, who's been good in this second term, let alone the entire game. So, Briggs applied the pressure and reaps his rewards. Oh, he's hit the post. Caught it early. The wind just pushed the kick a little bit off to the right. The post still shaking in the wind.
So Cobras by 22. 4 points into the second quarter. Now the defence, numeracy networks are select. The rebound from the wing. Close to half forward for the Cobras. Ryland Smith loads up on the left, gives it plenty. Stays up in the air, finally fell to the hand of Mockett, and at the back, a quick snap. Towards goal, it was smothered. It's the Dusty's chance. Brewster comes up for the lead. He's at centre half back. He'll try to activate Luke Smith through the middle, but he turns it over, carving his way through. Beck. Luke Smith again run down in the tackle. The Dusties gather it under their control. McGarity delayed the give. Took a longer option and it flipped to Sando as well as to Costa. In the end, boundary throw in.
Warragul's kicking's been really poor throughout the entirety of this game, especially through the middle. I think that's why they might be down by a large amount.
Just forward of centre wing towards the Dusties goal. And lock it up in the air. Trying to opportunity, and the Cobras have their say. It's Skiplich who loads up forward. It's cut off. Dusties now to begin discussions through the middle. DeSando has an appetite for the footy in this second quarter. McGarity did as well. Couldn't quite entice the footy. It's locked away for the moment. Ball up. Right. Still 22-point lead. 6 minutes into this second quarter. Goals come at a premium in the rain, absorbing plenty of pressure on attack. Thomas taps it down. Instantaneously from the pack. Brewster, who was sandwiched between two Cobras, fell to DeSando. A player out back. Again, they concede some ground. McGarity comes up to the footy. Too far out to score. Surveys ahead and now runs off his line. Ryan to give pressure. Up forward, Brewster surrounding it. Smith as well. Fist out to the bounce. Taking space. And the umpire.
Waiting, boundary throwing, short but high. Thomas couldn't get a clean handball out of the pack. Takes the grounds, but they somehow got out of that tightly contested little mosh pit there. Nicely done, Cora Lynn. But it's a turnover nonetheless. Russell, oh no, oh, that looks like a knee or an ankle. Oh, not sure who that was. Enter inside 50. McGarity just trying to push his way through. Ball's ripped loose. Was held. Nothing called. And he's standing up on his feet. He's Ryan Spearings, which is good news. Now he's gone back to his knees. That's really, really bad from this angle. Hopefully, is alright. He's now out at centre wing. Gives it off. Johnson on the left, entering inside 50. Not a single Cobra there. End up in the lap of a Dusties player who filled the hole nicely. Ryan, DeSando. They can move here quickly, the Dusties. Let's hurry up. You can't move slow. Cora Lynn will combat it. Just got it off. Is it pushing the back? No, I think they're calling the hold on the ball. I thought they might have shown. Oh, it was Spearings. Jeez. After tweaking his ankle, that is nicely done. Fernandez Phillips handballs. Pelusio kicks it into the chest of his teammate in Briggs, who had a set shot earlier on in this game, and he looks pretty confident, but decides to play on instead. umpire calls the play on after he hesitated a little bit. Kick couldn't be marked. Now pushing out towards the wing. The ball will eventually go over the boundary line. Stoppage. Jeez, how was Spearing's there? You saw him just leap up in the air after he tweaked something, and then just moments later runs down a minute.
Out of the ruck, Thomas shoved towards the boundary. The boundary throw in that score remains the same. 4-4-28 to 1 straight 6. The Cobras by 22. 9.5 minutes into this second quarter. It's Dusty's turn now with attributes across the wings. Hanging hard to Sando. Found some room. Now he whips onto the right. Beck! Arms in front. And illegally obstructed. We'll have a free kick straight in front, about 45 metres out. This goal must for the Dusties. Played against Lynn before. The talent is certainly there. His brother alongside him in this side. And he's got the second for the Dusties. A crucial goal. The margin now at 16. It's turned straight to 4-4, 10.5 into the second. Totally workwear Backman scoreboard.
I don't think Warragul has been totally clean throughout this quarter, but they've certainly improved in the second. Caroline struggling more to kick inside 50 and find a mark for the defender. The back six have been a lot better. Credit to the Dusties. But now, we've just got to score consecutively. Get this margin back to a respectable amount. Ball up. Thomas. There's Brewster. Sorry, not Brewster. Efford. Say. Anyways, stoppage. Touch out to the back of the pack. Briggs. Maybe disposed of it incorrectly. Brought into the ground is the Warragul player. Umpire says get the ball right back. Efford trying to climb over the ruckman. And Thomas, they pick it up the Dusties. This is much better. Gives a little no, don't argue on Briggs. Receives it back. This is some really clean footy. Enters inside 50. Beck lurking. Oh, couldn't take the chest mark. Is he going to try stop it? Picks it up. Turns around. Does a Huey. Handballs. Now a clean look. Can they get it off in time? Oh, he's hit the post. That is so unlucky. Brewster. Jeez. Been around a long time, that man. Played with the Dolphins in the VFL in 03 and 04. Just hits the post. That would have got a major momentum swing. But now they can move again. The giveaway. Handball was off target. Cobras trying their best to get out. They might just have an opportunity here. Oh, misses the kick. They're going to enter inside 50 again, or at least they should have. Didn't. Wow, what a sequence of play. Probably one of the best we've seen today. I sure did enjoy that. Happened to a Dusty's play, accidentally did Thomas. Going to be caught high. Oldham with the footy. Plays on.
Downfield.
Oh, it's going the way of the Dusties as well. Sammy Russell. Sorry, Anthony Bruin. He's going to have a set shot. Redeem his side after the poor miss just moments beforehand. This is what I was saying before, Dill. It's a game of momentum when it's between these two clubs. Bruin, 30 out, low kick, and he's missed it off to the right. That is a real big opportunity missed.
Cobras have doubled the Dusty score. Have to convert on opportunities such as those. Back. Full stride from the back line. Ryland Smith to the wing. Instead of Knuckles. Dusty's defence. Only 14 minutes in. So around the ground scorch. down. Hand pass forward, Luke Smith. Venturing towards Brull again. Timothy Payne just won the Golden Fist. Stays alive. Beck running into traffic, running into walls every direction he goes. Smith, this time with the Warragul variety for the Cobblers. Places it out wide. Into it first, Noah Glenn. And pass on short, and Beck withstood his defender and gave it off to the run of McGillivray, who goes forward for the Dusties again. Camped underneath, Bass couldn't control the mark. Contest and the numbers multiplied.
Dalson Bunyip is still in progress. Kilcotton and Bass beating down by 10. Pretty rough down by 6 to 2 on the down ball. Nana Goon leading Kimberlock Tongway. Philip Williams beating Cunningham by 14.
Strong slaughter by the defender there. Smith to Beveridge. Too far out the score. His teammate who didn't decide to take it longer. The goal scorer. Smith. Stepped to the 40 out from goal. Anthony Brewer couldn't do. We'll have to do here to reduce that margin to 8.
Really good read. Swooped in like a magpie. Intercepted it perfectly.
6th year for the club. Power, 2017. Played in Warragul. He's had multiple stints. He's happy to be here. He celebrates with confidence, and the Dusties are only 8 points down.
Those poor advertisements. Wow, they were really smashing on them, the fans. Jeez. But they're up and about now. The Dusties only down by 8 points. As the momentum has swung their way in the second term.
All of his 15 years of football, he's played with Warragul for 14. One year with the Falcons. He's found a home here. Continues to kick goals in important moments just like that. The Dusties happily have him forever, and it's the Cobras now by 8 points into the second quarter, 16 minutes through.
Cora, Lynn really need an answer. Ferdinand Phillips goes right. Mark almost taken. That would have been rather impressive from Briggs. Instead he'll drop it. Go to a boundary throw in. Cora, Lynn only up by 8 points if you're just joining us. That is a long boundary throw, and I liked it from the boundary umpire there. Nicely done. Quiet. This is my ball.
2 goals, 2-1 behind the score.
Ferdinand Phillips always hunting the footy. But it was spearings. It was caught holding the ball. Only just had a little injury, as we mentioned before. Seems to be fine now. Just tackled to the ground by the Dusties player. Plays on, runs off the mark. Kick, goes right in the wind, and it's pushed over. Had a couple of these already. Boundary throw in once again. Warragul Industrials win that hit out. Handball just went high, but didn't really get any distance. DeSando. Now Walker. Kick on the right. Pushes forward. Oh, Brewer nearly went up and took a screamer. Mark not take it. Went too low, hit the ground before the chest. Now the Dusties in prime position. Really unlucky for Mockett. In a good position to take that mark. Loses the contest. McGarity in the back through the Dusties fans. Ignoring them. A little back and forth between McGarity and Ryan. Play ruck. Eye contact against Warragul. That is disrespect, my goodness. Matthew Ryan. Another free kick favourite. I just want to point out Matthew Ryan gave a little head rub to McGarity. That is disrespect at its finest. There's now a little emotion has dropped into this game. Johnson. I apologise to McGarity, but that was really funny. Good sledge there. So out of the ring. Ball was punched. Beveridge, accurate with his handball. He was turned over. Just was able to get the kick off before he was tackled. Was Spearing's eye contact. Play's going to stop. No advantage, Kane, but yeah, he's trying to get a look at who that is. Looks like effort, maybe. Call names, just in case. Cora now have a lot of space to move. Machaya almost. Briggs brings the man to ground. And a stoppage. I'll just try and get a look at who is on the floor. The number is not facing our way. He has not moved.
Play will be held up, it looks like. Otherwise,
It's definitely a knee. He's holding onto his knee pretty tight there. Might get the surgery out of you.
20 minutes in, stretching, there's someone's waiting.
We won't be able to see his name because he's been stretching, so try and get
Two goals kicked. Held up, and to be honest, the Dust
yeah, they've really applied the pressure this half, this quarter, I should say. And, yeah, just the forwards looking a bit hopeless down for Cora and Lynn, and certainly not their fault. The defense have more than been as well as their midfield. They've been able to been a bit better around the contest. Some kicks inside 50. That's it for that. So, player being stretched off here. I'm just trying to get confirmation, and it seems as if I'm correct. I believe that is Hefford, the ruckman for Warragul.
One ruckman down at the Dusties. They're in defence at the moment. McGillivray tackle. Golf by the tackle, but taken high as the Dusties defender. Flare into this game now. Early on it was Spearing's down with an injury. Now, precariously. High kick out to the wing. Sat for Braun. Now it's planted on the ground. Movement again with the tacklers. Fighting hard. And Cobra makes a turn pass. The ball up at centre wing. 22 minutes into the two goals for the Dusties. By Kane Taylor.
It's a big loss after his effort. They're pretty good.
Stop the goal. Throwing it half forward. Out the back hatch. Evanham, bicycle. Kick forward. Dusty's on the rebound. Beck with body use and strength. They have access to his opponent. In fact, Costa leaping forward, Mockett rises, probably intimidated by the voice of the Cobra, and now with speed and accuracy to half forward, and in the blink of an eye they can enter to full forward. Gardner, crumb opportunity, almost taken by Briggs, still sitting on its end. Ryan has already kicked the 1 goal today. The dispute and the pressure ensues. We'll have a ball up 20 metres out from the Cobra's goal. High intensity gameplay in that last sequence, motoring onto it is Gibson. Hacks a kick out of the fence and be on its way back. And the Cobras haven't kicked a goal this term, they'll look to now. They need a goal kicker in Gardner! 4 against his name. So potent and such an appearance. And it's the Cobras who hit back. They have their 14-point lead.
See all the expressions of the Dusty's players extremely frustrated to allow that goal to go through. The pressure was there, but came out the top of the end. Dixie's 4th bag. Okay. So now in the ruck. Yeah, it's Mockett for the Warragul Dusties. So kick inside 50. Oh, that's a good contested mark there by Payne. So goes out more right to Briggs. Had a very good second quarter. Accurate kick. The mark will be taken by Chris Johnson. Now it's out. Giveaway against the momentum of the ball. Marks it. Looking for Beck. He's going to fall short. Lucio.
Just reversing. Does play for Cobra. He does have speed.
Yeah, he's certainly got the height on him, but as you mentioned before, it's not his preferred playing position, so that could present a little bit of trouble. On occasion, Ryan tapped it over the 2 players, so for it to be a contest. Ball bouncing. Oh, that should be incorrect disposal. Calls play on. And, oh no, he's being brought down and still calling play on. I thought he had plenty of pride there. Just trying to do a little bit of don't argue.
Rooster in the tackle. 25 and a half minutes in.
It's a really long eye kick. Can anyone take the contested mark? You betcha. Beck, the brother of Bailey, who's already kicked a goal today, and now Big Toddy, he can go back. Played with the Gippy Power, previously played senior footy at Druin and Nana Goon before Warragul this year. So Todd Beck, put it back down at 8. This goal is huge. Draw closer to half time. About 35 out, and that's going to go left. So, fortunately, he couldn't finish it off there after a great contested mark. Wanting to be my mark of the day so far.
On the back line, raising it to the wing. Gardner, so versatile. Play anywhere on the field. Severe hoist to half forward, waiting for it at the back. Briggs judged it better. Good Ablett, put it to the top of the square. Dusty numbers everywhere. Cross half back to the wing. Holden. Leading for the 50. Now to the wing. Beck this time. Bailey Beck. Opponent attached to him. Skips over the line. Centre half forward, Gardner again. gets infused to have the set shot from 50 out.
This is the goal number 76 of the year, by the way.
Reason he won the league's goalkeeping award for the second consecutive year in 2021. To give his team the lift. They're up by 13, but it can extend it to 19. It's a rare blemish against his name. Entering the half. It is still the Cobras. Here we go for this second half. The Dusties host Cora, Lynn. It's Garden with 4 for the Cobras. He'll be the man they need to stop it immediately. Almost out of the middle with a whistle, going the way of Jackson Mockett for the Dusties, who has had to overtake the ruck duties after Braden Hefford went down with an injury. He heads out wide to half forward. McGarity slipped over and then lunging over him, almost like a hurdle, was Luke Ryan. Didn't take him high. And we're trying to get the best view possible. Obviously the rain on the windows doesn't help our case. Ball thrown back in. Paddled down. Beck and Briggs still involved. Included in the play was Jackson Briggs. It's back to half forward. Smith. Looping hand pass over the top for Debenham, who just has to collect it, and he does that. McGarrity's in an open channel, and he opens the half with his second goal of the day, and Warragul close the gap to 8.
Mason McGarrity's a superstar, isn't he? Too easy, had heaps of space open, and it was similar to a goal he scored in, was it the first or second? I can't remember, but it was the first. And yeah, just no one on him, yet you can't leave McGarity that open, especially with how dangerous he's been throughout the year. So he's now got 2 majors to his name, and Dusty's closing in.
And to be honest, it was all organised by Jackson Mockett in the ruck, who has another chance here.
So Mockett stepping up big in the absence of Hefford, who we presume was taken off on that stretcher. Taylor somehow got that out to a teammate. And then no mark taken there on the kick by Brewster. Another stoppage. Went out of bounds. Dusty's been the better team early on, only a couple of minutes in to this third quarter.
This is some athletic camera work just quietly.
Yeah, we've got to protect the equipment here, but yeah, some great camera work from Harrison Carter. Here's Mockett again, got crunched down by Coraline Cobra. Spearings, who was injured in the second quarter, kicks it out of the pack somehow. Just trying to take it to ground are the Cobras. It was Briggs who went flaring in, and now we'll have ball up, half forward.
Just seems like the Dusty's been clean in the rain, which you can see is trickling down at the moment.
Debenham. Quarterback kicking it, but came off by hands and the kick there by Beveridge's paw. The Sando couldn't get to it in time. But you're right, the Dusties certainly have been the clean team to start off in the wet. Coralie struggling to answer back at the moment. So Mockett once again in the ruck, standing up. Gibson gives it off. Brewster on the right, almost turned over, but Bruin punched out of bounds. DeSander wasn't quick enough.
Centre wing, it's the Cobras by 8. Just joined us, McGarity, with the opening goal of the second half for Warragul, who trailed at quarter time by 21 points. They reduced it to 14 at half time, and at the moment they're down by 8. Shallow throw in. Mockett in a tangle with William Thomas for the Cobras. Out the back door. Johnson had it under his control, lost it, regathered it, and kicks it out on the full. Or was it touched, in fact? It was touched. So we'll have a boundary throw in the same place. And the Dusties will endeavour to kick another goal and converge on the Cobras. 5v6, Saturday afternoon football. Oldham out the pack. Debenham back in the hands of Oldham, who has to measure one up the line, and he does to half forward. Even numbers at ground level. Beck had to adapt in the air, fools them all. We'll have another boundary throw in, this time 50 out from the Dusties goal. Just feel the pressure has definitely stepped up a notch since the half-time break, Bass.
Yes, certainly. They kind of dropped off a little bit towards the end of that second quarter, but they've come right back out, guns blazing. You've got to love it if you're a Dusty fan. As for if you're Cora Lynn, you're perhaps thinking, what's going on here? Where's the pressure that we were applying? Back to them, Debenham gives it off. Now Bruin, couple shepherds laid by the Cobras. Ends up back out with the Dusties though. Taylor sat back at the pack, waiting for it. A handball from McGillivray. Can't get a clean disposal. Oldham is tackled there. That's going to be holding the ball. Pounced on it. Did Ryan. It was a great chase down. Now they've got another opportunity to strike to the Cobras. So Spearings. Testing his options. Waits. Umpire calls play on. Beveridge couldn't lay the tackle. Enters inside 50, and that's a poor kick. Oh, Applin, he's dropped it. How has he done that? Dusty's able to get out, however. Brewster dropped by Russell. Continuing to push and fight to keep the ball out of the danger zone. Should be a stoppage. McKillivray. Now Beck pushing out to Sando. Look at the speed on that man. Then kicks it. And unfortunately, a turnover after some good defensive work from the Cobras. Plays on. Going out to the wing once again. It's going to be high contact, it should be. It's going to be paid to Matthew Ryan, who could be in the conversation for the votes today. He's had a lot of the footy. Patient. That kick does not look good at all. Kane Taylor has a little knee slide across the turf. He's able to mark it cleanly.
Taylor will diffuse it off half back. Pokes one short into Brewster's hands, who looks further afield, and McGarity presents at centre wing. Now Bruin signals to kick it his way, which is where the majority of players are sitting. He sends a spiral in that direction, beaten up in the air, it stays at ground level, almost bottling it up. It's Brewster again. Another ball up about 60 out from the Dusties goal. Have the only score of this quarter against their name. McGarity with the goal, breaking the shackles. Jackson Briggs lofts it up in the air. Plenty of altitude in the kick. McGillivray clunks it with one hand. Could be a contender for our Fused by King G mark of the day. They'll swing it across the back line. A little indecisive as Walker receives it back from his teammates in Taylor and now looks through the middle. Has options. One of them was Beveridge. He'll line up on the left and swings out wide. A 2-on-2. And the Cobras emerge with it through the middle again, but it's chopped off. Russell darts the eyes into the forward line. Spills out the back. Gibson couldn't get to it. Out of bounds by the foot of Payne. We'll have a ball up. 40 out from the Dusties goal this time.
Probably not the desired entry you'd want. The wind would have been carrying our kick over by Russell a lot, but Gibson just wasn't quick enough to get there in the end.
Beck this time, playing in the ruck. Debenham, Gibson, all laying tackles. Some body use by Debenham this time as he followed up his own work and leaks out over the line. It's the Cobras by 8. 8.5 minutes into this third quarter. Nathan Gardner with 4 goals against his name. He'll have to be prolific in this second term again. He's still at centre half forward. If they can just pick it up at the end of this contest, which they can't, because Taylor had other things in mind, although his opponent did as well, and now they'll head through the middle. A one-on-one. Front position standing was Russell, allowed his teammates to pick it up. McGillivray with another possession to his name. Hand pass across to the wing, and it's Russell with a short little chip. McGillivray will bypass. He doesn't take up that offer. It's Luke Walker who flicks one on his left foot inside to Beveridge, who again looks further afield, places it out to the wing. The bounce was obliging for Beck. And at half forward, he has Commodore. Plenty of leads. One of them was Braun, and he takes the mark with authority. He'll go back and have a shot to cut this march into two bats.
Warragul just been that much cleaner with the footy. Cora Lynn have had no answers. Just trying to play that fast-paced footy, but they've been intercepting really well, just reading the sharing in general really well.
Dusties haven't been this close since the opening minutes. And it's Braun's turn to get on the scoreboard, but it slams into the woodwork. And it is 4-4 to 5-5. 10 minutes into this third quarter, it'll totally work where Pakenham scored.
We've seen a couple posters today. I think we've seen 3 in total. Accuracy is going to mean a lot towards the end of this game. Plays on, kicks it forward. Gardner couldn't get in front this time. Lucky to somehow get it in the end. Ferdinand Phillips, too slow for McGillivray. And taken off the boundary line. Didn't have enough room for the two of them in the end.
So the majority of possession with the Dusties. Ever since the Cobras had that lead of 21 points, the Dusties have hit back. It's been 3-1. Since quarter time, and McGarity might have another against his name, and he does. And this Dusties wave has come from nowhere. They trail it by 1 point. The flags go up, and McGarity with 3 against his name.
So it was all about Nathan Gardner early on. Now it's the Mason McGarity show. Such an X-factor sort of player. And, geez, I bet you if you're Matthew Ryan right now, you'd be absolutely spewing. He might have just started something that could lead to the demise of his side today. Of course, in the second quarter gave a little rub of the head, he might have just let off the beast.
For sure, the Dusties, they're roaring now. 11 and a half into this third quarter. They trail it by a point.
Slow to be brought in. Mocket. He beat it right to start off. Effort. We thought it was going to be a big loss, and certainly still is, but he's been great. And how's that? Kept the balance. Debenham couldn't hit his man on the chest with the handball, however. McGillivray spins. Disposed of it incorrectly. Fair call there. So now handballs. Looking for Gardner, but might find another man. Ball hits him in the face. Bit of a falcon. Trying to sock it off the ground. Did Briggs. And just strolls its way over to the out of bounds area.
They need a goal here just to maintain that lead, sustain the pressure on the scoreboard to the Cobras. And they can't just rely on Nathan Gardner.
No, they can't. You've got to have your other forward step up. Like Briggs, here's this man again, McGillivray. He's been just an absolute superstar today, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think we know what the decision will be there. Oh, throw in.
I don't think that was deliberate at all.
It's more so the insufficient intent nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't think he did it deliberately.
Nonetheless,
Certainly a contentious call every time it is called, to be honest.
well, I've found in the past couple of years, sometimes it's judged by how the referee is. They're loud about it, and more often than not, it's actually going to be paid. Anyways, Mockett held his opponent there, or he was held by his opponent, sorry, and he will receive the free kick. So, kicks it out of bounds in the full. That's not what you want when you're a point down. So it's back in the way of Cora Lynn. Waits patiently, observing the traffic. Then just has to boot it on the left. Looking for a teammate. Oh, Ryan nearly took a great grab there. Just was able to chuck it on the boot. Bruin chasing after that footy with intent. And Lucio was smart enough to paddle it out of bounds. joining us, Cora, Lynn now only lead by 1 point. That's right, 1 point. Mockett once again winning a hit out. He's been really impressive. Moncton, game number 150, loses that. That's got to be on the ball. Nonetheless, a Walker almost turned it over. DeSando was there enough. Briggs uses the body and picks it up cleanly. Now Ryan centers the ball. Fernandez Phillips off by hand. Serves it to a silver platter to his teammate. Just running through the middle of the Cobras. That's not going to be an accurate set shot. And that's a great running back mark. Take a bow. Corey McCarry had a rough start to his day. Gardner, but that is one of the great marks we've seen today. But he might have just turned it over again. DeSando nearly got to it. That's got to be high. Ripped off his head.
Yet to score in this third quarter, the Cobras. 2 goals won for the Dusties, and it's been Mason McGarity, who now has 3 against his name. He's not afraid to chat to Jackson Briggs. And this set shot, Gus DaCosta. Seesawing battle all day. 6th year with the club. Has to bring some momentum back in their favour. They're only 1 point up. He has a lethal left boot. He puts it to the top of the square and Mockett's.
I think Mockett's just about being the best player in this third term. Maybe McGillivray as well. But Mockett, he's really stepped up, hasn't he?
Sure has. Pull back. Have to show a clean pair of heels out of here to the Dusties. High up and under. Mockett again. Maybe nudged out of it. Umpire said play on. And here is DaCosta. Finally there's a whistle. It'll go the way of Cora Lynn. And Mockett gives away the free kick. And it's Moncton. Distinguishing those surnames. Moncton hasn't had a whole heap of it in his 150th, but he just tosses it up. McGillivray again, nearly. Hand pass over the top. Debenham does similar. Put his teammate under the pump in Noah Glenn. It's out on the full. Garrity on the mark, nearly. Put the smother, Jackson Briggs. Too far out the score, so he scans ahead in the pocket. He has Heath Briggs, who's calling for it now, and he notices it. Might have been touched on the mark, and his teammate obstructed him, but he still has a way out. But he was shut down, and in the defensive zone, Luke Walker.
You've got to talk more there. Briggs had a wide open chest mark, and he was spoiled by his own teammate. You've got to talk there.
Will receive the free kick, and he'll switch it to McGillivray, rather Macari, who was taken out after the contest. Nonetheless, play continues to go, and Gardner had vacant space, but his teammate was brought down in the tackle and rinsed it out of defence. It was Commodore, that sits on the wing, just casually holding the football and now moving forward to centre half forward. Debenham juggled the mark, and now opponents just solving around him, but he's hit after the bump, wasn't given the free kick, and now they track it down. The front position with Moncton, who has Russell clamouring all over him, but he picks it up, gave his teammate some access. It's Briggs, he was brought down. Walker enters the scene, tempers are flaring, and it's rising. It's a 1 point, rather 2 point game in the third quarter at Warragul.
Debenham, he received a bump and a half there, didn't he?
Mockett in the ruck again against William Thomas. Debenham ready to duck back into trouble.
Debenham has been another name for me that's been really good in this third term. He'd certainly be up there in one of the better performers in his third term.
Mockett with the big piece this time. To the advantage of DeSando, although wearing him like a glove was DaCosta. And he might just get clear for another possession, and he does. Sells a bit of candy. Smith slipped down to ground, and at half back he sails one to the wing, and the mark is taken by Heath Briggs, who turns around in an instance, find his teammate, who's led up into some space. It's Jed Edwards, and on the overlap they have the run, and it's just slightly miscued, and McGillivray takes advantage of that in full stride to Beck. Numbers shifting forward. Brun, he'll have to sprint as fast as he humanly can. He slipped to ground, might just gather control. And we should have a whistle and a ball up as we settle down for a moment.
Bit of serenity. It's a 2-point game, 19 minutes into this third quarter. The Dusties with 2 goals this quarter, and the Cobras have only registered the one behind. And the weather seems to have cleared up for the moments. Someone to step up to Cora, obviously apart from Gardner. There's 4 goals to his name. Short, dinky hand pass, and it springs around in the pack. DeSando. The Dusties are ominous as ever, attempting to take the lead nearly into time on in this third quarter. We'll get some around the ground scores for you shortly.
So, about 35 out these boys. Dusties looking really dangerous all game, especially this quarter. Cora dropped off a little bit. Fernandez Phillips evades. I don't know how he's done that. Has the elusiveness, but McGarity won't be paid the free kick, but wrapped him up like a bear. Nicely done.
And just quickly, Nana Goon leading Inverloch Conway, 37 at home.
So Thomas flicked it out to the back of the pack. Now moving are the Cobras. McGivleray put a hand through. Such a supreme defender today. And Russell watched it go over the boundary line.
Kilcunda Bass at home, 55 to 33 in front of Garfield. Kooey Rupp trailed Turin and Dalmore in their home pitch, 39 to 61. And the Phillip Islanders still at 36 to 0, although I don't think the scores have updated, Bass.
So, spinning around was a Cobra. And he's had plenty of prior, holding the ball. He's slammed to the ground by the Dusty and Brewster. Then a low kick. Oh, can't hit the chest there. That's unfortunate. Briggs just has to smack it. Finds Fernandez Phillips, who waited. And then eyes darting around, looking for anyone with a bit of free space. Just has to go down the line, doesn't he? And then whistle blown, holding the man against the Cobras. So now Ablett for Warragul.
That's everything going the way of the Dusties at the moment.
They've certainly been a bit lucky. The ball bounces at half forward. Brewster steamrolling through the packs. Bruin trying to get it off by hands, and he's turned it right over. Golden opportunity is dismissed. Briggs now Spearings, he's been great since that injury. Ankle breaks Beveridge. Now Briggs plays on, sends it inside 50. Gardner, is that going to be paid? No. Umpire calls my ball and the Cobras can't believe it. I think it definitely hit the ground first, but I don't think there's a case to be made there. Gardner hasn't kicked a goal in his third term just yet.
It just seems a lot of the eyes are going towards Gardner.
And he's broken through the pack. Is that going to go through? No, it's not. Left the face.
Right on cue. His teammate kicked a goal.
I think that was Chris Johnson, who played 16 games for Casey's development VFL team in 2015 and 16. Was a Dandenong Stingray in 2013.
Kari. 3-point lead for the Cobras. 23 minutes into this third quarter. 2 players for Coraline Rose. Neither could bring down the mark, but it didn't matter because at ground level, releasing the kick is monked it into the 50, and there's plenty of Dusty jumpers around. Walker. Russell. Made his teammate work. Doesn't matter. Commodore. Further up the field to half back, Oldham. Just contemplating where to go. Almost smothered on the mark, but through the middle. If they could just get clear, DeSando was unable to, but his teammate was. At the wing, sprinting towards this football's Luke Walker with pace, trying to get adventurous. And downfield, it'll be a free kick for the Dusties. And they'll try to regain the lead. In fact, it'll be their first lead of the game.
So what was the free kick for? Was a push on Luke Walker?
Yes, there was 2 players. As DeSando plays on, checks his kick short, and at a better angle, go back to have a shot. Kyle Beveridge, who's usually kicking goals, hasn't yet today. 94 goals in 14 games for Devon Meadows in 2014. So he has the kicking ability and the ability to give the Dusties a lead at the moment. It's a helicopter, it falls short. Not a lot of purchase on it, it stays in the pocket. It's dribbled through. They're claiming a goal. And the goal umpire, to their dismay, signals behind. But they'll discuss it for a brief moment. And it will be a behind. It's Cora Lynn by 2.
So, out from the boundary line, Cora Lynn Cobras, as they hold a 2-point lead. Deep into this third term, Thomas had a bunch of Dusties players climb on top of his shoulders. Ball kicked out of the pack. What will the umpires do here? They called a boundary throw in. Thought there was enough intent in that one. So here's Mockett again. Punches it out. He's been such a pivotal member of this side today as they go into finals next week. And there goes the siren. A total of 25.5 minutes, and the Dusties controlled that one.
Most influential player in that third quarter. Find it out in the ruck against Dylan Thomas, and here they go. Thomas knocks it down and immediately bursting out of the middle is Jackson Briggs, who's also been important today. Avoided everyone, bounced on the ground and then snapped up by the Cobras, who go back in order to go forward. It's Briggs again, who releases towards goal! And the open run, and the Cobras strike first within 20 seconds.
Ouch. Briggs goes bang. He's sort of been their X Factor today, player today has Briggs. McGarry for Warragul and Briggs for Cora Lynn. He's worked through the middle and the accuracy on that kick has just been brilliant. So he'd probably be in my 3 votes at the moment, I reckon, Jackson Briggs.
What a start. They'd only had 1 goal to their name in the form of Nathan Gardner since quarter time, and Jackson Briggs kicks his first. And now it's the Dusties' turn to reply, and they do. Off the runway towards Bruin. Beck kicking it in front of himself. Bruin needs to provide the protection, but he didn't. And he almost tripped over Beck in the end, but subsequently it falls to half forward for the Dusties. And in the back line, the 150th gamer slams it out of defence. McGillivray had to be clean, but he wasn't. And Briggs again, who just kicked that goal, lost control of the footy. Tape it to each other. We'll have a ball up just forward of centre for the Dusties.
So, tensions are really high at the moment in what has been a close game, possibly a preview of a finals matchup. Ball to ground. Cora Lynn lead by 8 points in what has been one of the closer games this year. Mockett couldn't win the ruck contest on that occasion, but Gibson, McGillivray, he's brought down. They're going to call holding the ball. Didn't have much prior, I thought, did Wilson McGillivray, but it was a great tackle by Spearings. So he plays on, runs off the mark, enters inside 50 and goes way over, but why is he not taking the mark? Gardner spins around and kicks it on the left. That is an ultimate brain fade. And they're now up by 14. That is beyond me why you would not mark that when you had that much space and the ball coming right to your chest.
It might have just been out of his reach. But Cora Lynn, he must have 1 goal in 2 quarters and kicked 2 in the opening 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, Dusty's really in danger now, aren't they? Such a promising third term. Now it's starting to fade away a little bit early on in this fourth.
Had chances to take the lead, didn't take advantage. Jackson Briggs and Nathan Gardner do. Both classy shots at goal, and out of the middle it's Heath Briggs, but the throw is given and Mockett will prepare to launch it forward. DeSando on short. He went there, DeSando went the other way. And it's Fernandez Phillips. He gets some run off the half-back line to the wing now. Free kick paid for the Cobras. Brady White, who we haven't seen too much of today. Regress to Bass. With Brun on the mark. Allocates his kick to half forward. And a strong mark in the air, this time by the ruckman and William Thomas. And give it back to Johnson, who loads up into the pocket, and Gardner almost takes the mark, but he's paid it in the end. And he'll have a shot for number 6, Baz, and now tempers flare. A bit of a wrestle going on.
What could have been said there?
Need to break this up. And it still will be a shot for Nathan Gardner. No, it won't. It's reversed. And Gardner is annoyed at his teammate. Spearings gives a little fend off.
If they had to kick those 2 earlier goals, that would have been really bad to Cora. Lynn, oh my goodness! I cannot believe I've just messed that up. What a mark there by Chris Johnson.
Get away scot-free to the Dusties, only for a brief moment. Johnson out wide to Fernandez Phillips. Happy to play some conservative footy at the moment. Identified Payne at the wing. And then in the middle for Bass. Gardner still the most substantial target down forward. He hooks the kick and softened it to the wing. Drawn around the pack, but amongst it was Brewster fighting hard, Ablett as well. Piercing his way through in the end was the Dusty midfielder who puts it on the non-customary left. Smith brought his opponent to ground, and Bass made his way to the wing, and the ball can't break free. Six minutes into this opening quarter, rather the final quarter. It's Cora Lynn by 14. Smith plotting himself a trackway forward. McGarity with body use takes the mark, and now streaming forward is Beck, who'll have to run onto this, and does. Pinpoint action, and Bailey Beck, who has one against his name today, will hope to cut short the flow of his 2 goals.
Straight one there. Gary probably put it out a little bit too far, but no, there was the run from Beck has made this opportunity great.
Kick to goal in a similar place via a set shot. He might just do the same here. And the home side are back within 8. 6-5 to 7-7 on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard early in this final quarter.
If they hadn't kicked those 2 goals, Corlin, Dusties would have had the lead now, but that's, of course, a different situation. And now they have to fight.
And down one end, Todd Gardner, rather Nathan Gardner, apologies, should have had a set shot at goal.
Yeah, you can't have that undisciplinary action this late in the game. Oh, almost fought to ground, sorry. Could have had enough time going back against the ball. A great grab taken by Sam Russell, who then centres it. They've got Rudy, the Dusties, to move quickly. Off by hands, looking to enter it inside 50. Kick was a little bit of a strange choice and turns it over. Now Fernandez Phillips on the side of the boot, or was that deliberate maybe? I don't know. Gives it off by hands, out over the top, almost picked off by Brewster. They're going to get it back here. Here is Shane Brewster. Snaps it to Sando. Oh, they're making the case in Corlin. Oh, he can't. Well, that could have been a 50 maybe, but to Sando. Then lowers the eyes. Bruin hit the ground first, so the mark won't be paid. Shepherd. Coralin escape. what looks to be a certain set shot to the Dusties, DaCosta at half-back. It goes back out towards the wing to his teammate in Moncton. Had a bit of a quiet one today, but he still provided heaps for Cora Lynn at moments. Another boundary throw in. 8 minutes and 44 seconds into this fourth tournament.
2 straight to 1 straight. The early parts of this fourth quarter, Briggs and Gardner for Cora Lynn, Bailey Beck for Warragul. And they might have another one here from the pack towards goals across the face, but Gardner has prime position. We'll need to muster up a check side here, you'd think. With 5 goals against his name, it certainly isn't impossible. It's all Nathan Gardner. And he check sides it through! What can't this man do? He's kicked 6, and Cora Lynn reopened that 14-point lead.
Gardner just starting to step back up now. He's got 6, so 77 goals is his total. Wonder how much Yorkie has. It'll be interesting to find out, but we'll have to find out later tonight. I assume that Play HQ will probably upload the goal kickers by then. And that doesn't even include Wells. Kui Rupp, he could have even had a massive day. Somehow gone from 3rd to 1st, but it'll be a tight race to see who gets leading goal kicker this year. Once again, another ball up.
Cobras have made this game wire to wire. Stayed on every attack just to maintain that lead and preserve it. Another attack going forward for the Cobras. Edging closer to the boundary line, he might just disguise this well, and he does.
10 minutes through. Still plenty of time for Warragul. Not a doubt about it. Long and high throw in. Gibson was held. Fernandez Phillips was bumped. Still was able to dispose of it correctly. Players sliding across the grass. And here comes Briggs. He's been great today. Trying to find the teammate, but kick was a little bit too low. He punched out of play. He's kept onto it. Gardner again! The greatest showman, Nathan Gardner. And that's now 3 in a quarter for his 7th major of the day. And it's just starting to look like a little bit out of reach for Warragul, as it's now 20 points the difference. Gardner has scored 3 majors in what has been a great performance from him today.
Well, we mentioned at 3/4 time that he didn't have a goal in that 3rd quarter. As a result, he's kicked 3 in this final quarter. 3 in the 1st quarter, 1 in the 2nd, and now 3 in the final quarter. Always steps up when his team needs him to. The Dusties to repel from the centre. Commodore has some space. Brewster as well. Gets away from his opponent in Hayden Spearings. Props it up to the top of the square. And a nice, strong aerial presence by Luke Ryan. See a familiar name in defence in the AFL and the West Kippy League. Crowd trying to get into him, and they do, because it's a helicopter sort of kick. Mockett parked underneath. Swirls the kick forward. Braun communicated with Beck, and it's Todd Beck.
This crowd try their best to get their side a little bit closer.
On a harsh angle. Correct side for a right footer. 20-point lead for the Cobras. The Dusties have been as close as a single point And right now, 13 and a half minutes in, it's Todd Beck to bring them back. And it's one step closer. They're still in at the Dusties.
Good response. Beck, one of the cleanest set shots we've seen today. Great kick on a tough angle as well.
Well, we've had only 10 goals combined up to three-quarter time. In this last quarter, we've already had 6.
Yeah, it's been a high scoring last term. Gardner's been the reason for half of them. As the umpire is set to ball up in the centre square. Thomas versus Mockett. Mockett, he was so good in that third quarter, wasn't he? So here's Briggs using the leg speed. Kicks it on the left, trying to look for Moulton. Perhaps he's another teammate. Moulton screaming for it, wants to get it by hand. Instead, they're going to go a long high kick inside 50. Mark couldn't be taken, it was tapped around by Taylor, exiting inside 50 now. Warragul looking to move with speed, taking some risks here. Didn't have the footy, play continues to go, just soccers it off the ground there. Interesting choice. And now Warragul can set up a little bit. They've got time. Instead, decides to go down the line. Don't know how that mark couldn't be taken there by Bass. It was maybe enough pressure. Now he's running. Oh, and he's tackled by the legs. But it's going to be a trip. So now they get another chance. Cora Lynn escaped the inevitable fate. Bass sends it forward. Umpire's blowing the whistle in the favour of Cora Lynn again. Big decision late in this game. So little kick to DeCosta. Now directly in front of goals, maybe on a slide angle. He won't go for it, he's going to play on. Low angle kick. Turned it over right away. They decide to play on Beck. 1v2 situation. Does he have the legs though? Look at the desire! Is he going to tackle that man? No, not quite. Bass felt the danger lurking though. DeCosta was impressive to get that kick out under pressure. So now over the top, Payne. Coast to coast footy here for Cora Lynn. Gardner picks it up, turns around. Surely not. No, won't be. Just floating in the air. Mark dropped by Cora Lynn. A point we're due here for Warragul. But instead they allow nothing. Impressive from the back 6 for the Dusties. Trying to duke out his opponent. Little short kick out to the boundary line. It's marked. Now McGarry, he's got 3 today. His typical self. Down the line again, Taylor wasn't strong enough to pull it down to his chest. Handball over the top. Fernandes Phillips, he's been good today. Maybe not on that occasion though, as he turns it over right back to another Dusty. They're looking to switch here. Ball in possession of no one at the moment. They're going to have to run McGillivray. Moncton, what a great tackle there. And now it's marked by Johnson. Will he go back and try slot it here, or will he look for another option? He's got a teammate out to his left, but I think Johnson will go for it. 17 minutes into this last quarter. This would be huge if he was to make it. Wow, that's not looking bad. Does that have the distance? No, it won't. Trying to get a kick out was Briggs, but he was tackled whilst going for a goal and resulted in a minor score.
It's the Cobras by 15. 17 and a half minutes in. Treacherous times for the Dusties. Need to score as soon as possible. It will be a longer quarter. We've had 6 goals kicked. 4 for the Cobras. That's a wide ball. And Beck did enough to keep it in, or did he? Going to return through Peluso. And craft something forward instead. Retreat to Thomas. And again. Loose Peluso. Examining the situation ahead. To half forward he heads. Falls free to Heath Briggs. Jackson was nearby. McGarity up on the wing. No time to waste for the Dusties. It's a 15-point ball game. McGarity back into the main field of play. Commandeer exchanging through hands, and the hand pass was turned over, and the Cobras can pounce, and they do. And Matthew Ryan, who has one against his name, will make it two. And to their delight, they lead at 10-8-68 to 7-5-47. 19 minutes in on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard.
So, Cora Lynn's 10-8-68, plays Warragul's 7-5-47. 21 points the difference.
It's much reminiscent of the last time they played.
Yeah, just one less quarter in favour of Cora Lynn. They've left it to the very last minute. They have Gibson, who's tackled as soon as he got the ball. Thomas, the kick to the umpire there, that was interesting. Beat Mockett in the ruck contest. Cobra slipped to the floor. Warragul push it out of the pack. Lucio provided an option but wasn't selected. And now Bruin to Brewster. Beck was open. McGarity, they've got numbers here. Beck to Beck, the brotherhood. And they are not giving up. Todd Beck with his second response in this fourth quarter as they try their best to keep this game on track. I love the trio there. Brilliant teamwork between McGarity and the two Beck brothers as Warragul are fighting with all their heart.
They are, and it's 20 and a half minutes in, but we've had 8 goals kicked this quarter. It's been 3 straight for the Dusties and 5-1 for the Cobras. Accuracy is key, and Cobras have a 15-point lead because of it in this quarter. They were 5-7 at 3-quarter time. They're now 10-8. Fernandez Phillips to half forward in the air and Commandeer at ground level. With Ablett riding shotgun. Instead it's McGillivray to the wing in full stride. Approaching the 50 now. Beck needs to have his presence felt, and he did. McGarity chips it short. Luke Smith barrels into his opponent and will have the ball up.
Great call by the umpire there. Pelucio put the shoulder into his opponent. I was scared they were going to call high.
Todd Beck plays the ruckman. Luke Smith to Shark. Instead, it falls out to Johnson, to the wing. Brewster. Another disposal, and Mockett as well. Doesn't get too much distance on it. It was not the most fashionable service for his teammates up forward, but it might work in the end. McGarity spins, navigates through traffic, and comes into the boundary line and over. 22 minutes in.
There's even chat between the fans and the players now. Luke Ryan sticking out the tongue at the Dusties fans.
50 out from the Dusties goal. A big slap forward in the ruckman of Thomas. Fernandez Phillips. McGillivray met him and he wore the bump. He's still down now, back up on his feet. Every second counts for the Dusties, and they've had entries. The Cobras done well to prevent them from attacking on the scoreboard. Mockett knocked it down. Ablett, rather Oldham, ran straight into every Cobra known to man, and Chris Johnson rewarded with the free kick. And at centre wing, he takes it inboard. Brady White. Second possession in this quarter. Honouring the voice of Johnson again. Luso. Working with danger across this half-back line. Have to be cautious. precise with every disposal as Chris Johnson has made his way to right half back. To the wing now, a large congregation of players. McGillivray had first bite, falls down to Payne. Mockett this time entering optimistically, leaving it without the footy and the ball up. $15 points the margin. Nearly 24 minutes in. Ryan, who's kicked 2 goals, the previous one for the Cobras. It's the Dusties who need to kick 3 goals. About 4 to 5 minutes left, you'd think. Bounces right in front of Gibson, slipping down. Jackson Briggs, the 1 goal against his name, and plenty of disposals and clearances, and falling right to ground with Spearings, his opponent, the beneficiary, but Spearings again able to gather, and it bowled right past Taylor. And the Cobras are pressing forward. Oldham pressed in defence. Stuck in that enclosure, but taken high as the Dusties defender. Have to take risks, this Dusty side. Nearly 25 minutes in, and we have a 50-metre penalty. McGarity heading back to the square. Beck alongside him. Luke Smith's at half forward. We'll have to get it there first, obviously. And here is Beck rising, nearly took the hang up. Instead, hand passed it off to Walker towards goal on the left side for the boundary! And the Dusties are still a chance. It's a 9-point game, 25 and a half minutes in. Luke Walker with some individual brilliance. With a couple of minutes to play. They're still a threat, Baz.
Yeah, certainly are. There can't be much time left though. So, in the ruck, tapped out the Sando. The Dusties, they're looking awfully good here. Beck, he's been such a hero late on, hasn't he? Debenham shrugs a man off, then looks for the option of McGarry. Will they pay it? No, they won't. Gee whiz! I thought he had enough of that. So,
but we're still in the Dusty forward line.
Yeah, instead we'll have a ball up. Briggs wants to get it out. Can't. It's wrapped up.
And just quickly, Baz will have to leave us for the post-game show. The forward line for the Dusties, and doing his best is Chris Johnson out of defence. Mockett, the only Dusty nearby. And they're waiting on the call. It'll be a Dusties free kick. So they'll load up again. And just waiting here for the final verdict. And it will be a Dusties free kick. Mockett with a high entry this time, a torpedo. McGarity nearly, he'll still go, he may have raised the shoulder, and it's a ball up, 27 and a half minutes in.
Thanks, Adam.
20 out from the Dusties' goal. Needs someone. Now, Brewster. And out the back, the numbers with the Cobras. Although they're stopped in their tracks. Walker, who just kicked a magnificent goal, out to Todd Beck on the 50. Need to attack, and they do a short, dainty kick for McGarity. Adjusted in the air, and then collected the footy, slung to ground, and taking advantage of it. Luke Ryan will come back. 28 minutes in. Only a minute to play. The crowd attempting to motivate these Dusties. And on their 50. And it's their time to shine up in the air. McGillivray, who's done a bit of everything today. Here he is again, head first, attacking the football. Brewster had an acquaintance nearby, but there's the siren. And what a competitive battle it was, right to the end. But this Cora Lynn side